So let's talk about a common question that's usually asked by quite a few people when they're looking for an accounting job here in the UK, which is, do you need the ACCA qualification for you to get an accounting job in the UK? Now, the answer to this really comes down to a lot of things, and I'm going to be sharing my opinion on whether or not having the ACCA qualification might be what is actually holding you back or preventing you from being able to get an accounting job here in the UK. Hi, if this is your first time here, my name is Tess and I'm a UK qualified accountant, and on this channel I share videos to help those who are looking to get into the accountancy field here in the UK. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then do make sure you give this video a like. Make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. First thing to consider here is going to be job roles and requirements. Now, what I've noticed these days is that most job roles that you typically will find, whether on job websites or even through recruiting agencies, will generally not tend to specifically dictate what type of accounting qualification they require, okay? That has been my experience anyway. They might say, okay, they want you to be partially qualified, or they want someone who's fully qualified, or someone who's qualified by experience. You know, sometimes you will get one, two, or all three of those terms, depending on what sort of job it is you're looking for and what the requirements are. Now, the exception to this might be when you are looking at an entry-level position, and in some instances, they may be specific and they say that they want someone who is AAT qualified at a particular level, okay? Maybe you're level 2 AAT qualified, or you're at least level 4 AAT qualified. So that is one aspect that I do want you to take into consideration. The point to consider here is the industry. Now, depending on what industry it is you're actually looking to secure that accounting job in, will determine whether or not this aspect or this necessity around having the ACCA qualification may or may not hold you back, okay? Because for instance, if you are looking for an accounting job in industries such as oil and gas, the aviation industry, and sometimes even the pharmaceutical industries, from my experience, is these kind of industries, as well as a few others, can generally tend to be quite specific in that they might have a preference for you having either the ACCA qualification or the CIMA qualification. Now, I've worked across both public and private sectors, so I know that that definitely does tend to be the case in those areas of the private sector. Now, if you contrast this with someone who is looking for a job within the public sector, you know, the NHS, the civil service, or even charities, they generally don't tend to have a very strong preference for what accounting qualification you are coming into that role with, okay? This is going to be something to bear in mind if you think that not having the ACCA qualification might be holding you back when it comes to applying for certain accounting roles. Maybe it might be that the industry is what you need to reconsider, or it might even be the type of job it is. The next point I want to bring to your attention is around work experience, okay? Because you might be in a situation where you're like, you know what, Tess, I have work experience, but I don't have the ACCA qualification, and I think that for whatever reason that might be holding me back. In this instance, I definitely would say that it's very unlikely that the fact that you don't have the ACCA qualification, but you have work experience, is holding you back. I think it would be more fair to say that it's likely that you have that work experience, that you are just not tailoring that work experience to the role that you are applying for. And I would strongly encourage that where you have relevant work experience, you should definitely keep making those job applications, irrespective of whether you have the ACCA qualification or not. Now, what happens if you have a non-UK accounting qualification? Okay, by this I mean you have a professional accountancy qualification, but you gain that qualification from outside of the UK, okay, from overseas. So for instance, you might be in the situation where you study the ICAN, okay, and this is an accountancy qualification that is typically taken by those who are based or living in Nigeria. What do you need to do in this scenario? Now, what I'm going to say here is I've seen many people who have actually studied qualifications such as the ICANN or other non-UK professional accountancy qualifications. And what you want to do in this instance is to basically look to see whether you can contact one of the UK recognized accountancy bodies and get that conversion over. Okay, typically what that would require is that maybe you need to take 1 or 2 exams. Sometimes you don't have to, but what they'll do is they will look at the exams that you've taken. Say for instance you have the ICANN, they will look at the exams that you took at the ICANN level and they will compare that to what they can see as being the equivalent for the ACCA qualification, and then they will determine what additional, if possible, if there are any other additional, qualifications that you need to take in order to get you on par or at the same level as someone who has the ACCA or the CIMA. And usually in this scenario, what you might be able to do is to join UK recognized professional accountancy bodies such as ICAEW or even ACCA, and you usually do that through some kind of pathway that basically recognizes the experience and the exams that you have already taken as part of that non-UK professional qualification. Okay, so they will review the ICANN and they will look to see where it pars or matches up to, say, a qualification like the ACCA, and then they will tell you if there are any outstanding exams that you might need to take. Of course, the fact that you already have some form of professional accountancy qualification in most cases will mean that you are able to qualify for some exemptions. Sometimes you might even qualify for complete exemptions from taking any exams whatsoever, and all you might really need is to do some kind of experience, UK-based experience, to actually convert fully to the UK recognized professional accountancy qualification. So if you're in this scenario where you have a non-UK professional accountancy qualification, I would really recommend that for the accountancy body that you want to switch over to, you need to basically contact them and speak to them about how you can navigate this switch. Okay, it is usually quite easy and straightforward for you to basically take a non-UK professional accountancy qualification and see how you can do the conversion, in the other country that you are looking to basically relocate to or get a job. Now, based on this point, it's very easy and clear to see that not having the ACCA qualification does not necessarily prevent you from getting an accounting job in the UK. Okay, in fact, I would go as far to say that the type of accountancy qualification you have does not really play a strong role in whether or not you are able to secure an accounting job in the UK. Instead, what you should focus on is your relevant work experience as to the job that you are applying for, and where you have a non-UK recognized professional accountancy qualification, what you want to do is to reach out to as many UK professional accountancy bodies that are in the UK and see which of those accountancy bodies you can get a conversion over to. Okay, ideally, you want to make sure that you are able to get a conversion to, say, maybe CIMA, ACCA in the best possible scenario, or even ICAEW, depending on what it is your career plans look like. Hopefully this video has been useful to you. Do leave a comment down below sharing your thoughts on whether or not you think not having the ACCA qualification is actually holding you back from getting a job in the UK. Feel free to leave any other questions you might have. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.